Now, here's a fascinating thing. So I work with a lot of telcos, and when I show them this graph, the rooms goes really quiet. And when I show it to the board of a global bank, the same. So here we have the cost of providing technology falling to zero. This is the cost of providing free technology. What's your name? Andrea. So let's imagine that we're going to make Andrea an amazing offer. We're going to say, Andrea, we're going to give you an iPhone, iPad, whatever you want, you know, the latest Samsung device. We're going to give you, actually, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one of those that he's using there as well. I'll give you a free portable. I'll replace all the technology every 18 months. I'm going to give you unlimited video calls, unlimited bandwidth. I'm going to give you the biggest video package you could ever conceivably watch in 100 million years. All for free. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a second phone as well, so you can use in the family. And you say, well, what's the catch? Well, this is the catch, and it really is free. Because you see, the cost of providing all this stuff is falling towards zero. And actually, as we've discovered, nearly all the cost in terms of bandwidth is one word. One thing, which is the telcos are transmitting these days. See, the telcos, by accident, have become simply a video company. They fell into it by mistake. They thought that they were selling voice calls, then they thought they were selling SMS. Then they thought they were selling data packages and a bit of email. No, 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 my friends. They're basically selling video. That's all they're selling. You've seen the statistics already. 65%, was it 68% of all bandwidth in many, many parts of the world, especially in the European Union, will be video by 2017. What was it, 90% or 85%? 80% by 2019. And a big chunk of that is YouTube. 30, 40, 50% maybe YouTube alone. Whoa! So telcos have become simply video streaming providers, which is a really boring business model if you're providing handsets and everything else as well. So here's the telco, the cost of providing all this stuff falling towards zero, but at the same time, the revenue that comes from capturing every business transaction or every financial transaction is going through the roof. Because we have all the biometrics there, we have more secure technology already in your pocket than any bank branch could ever possess. So the most secure way for a bank to transact is to use a mobile device. With me so far? So at this point, you start saying, okay, I'll tell you what we'll do, Andrea. If you're willing to empty, I'm not asking you today, but if you're willing to empty your handbag or your wallet or whatever it is, just take out all the pieces of plastic and just choose one. Keep one, which is an emergency, and we'll let you use it for 500 euros a month for just to keep you going if, I don't know, your phone battery dies or it gets stolen or something. But we really want to see everything going through our devices, our platforms, our technologies. And if we do that, we can do other things as well. You see, not only will we then be able to offer you things like insurance or pre-approved loans, or we could pre-approve you for 100,000 euros of stuff already pre-insured. We could. And we start to get all kinds of things. But the most important things, because we're fusing the telco and the bank, we know where you are. We know how you think. We know who your friends are. And what's more, we are your trusted advisor on your journey of life, because that's what this is all about. We don't want you to come into this unless you're happy for me and my team to know something about you. And Andrew might well say, well, yeah, but what about privacy? And I'd say, yes, that's fine. Turn it off whenever you want. Go onto private browsing whenever you want. That's absolutely fine. Turn off your location wherever you want. There's just a button to do it. That's absolutely fine. But the more you are willing to leave it open, the better the conversations will be. And we'll basically protect you from all marketing. I mean, marketing is dead. It's such a last century idea. What we're basically doing is that we will be your concierge for marketing. So we will basically guide you on your journey of life. We know the kind of things you're interested in, and we will bring stuff to you, whether it's on the web pages, whether it's through SMS, or however you like to be communicated with, actually. And we just think of the intelligence that we would have about my life or Andrew's life into those circumstances. Now, when I show this kind of graph, by the way, it's the complete end of telco, traditional telco. I mean, how can you sell another contract? You can't sell airtime or SMSs or data per minutes or whatever. So who owns the customer relationship is my question. Who will own this customer? And by the way, when will it happen? The room goes very quiet when I show this graph, because everybody recognizes, every bank and every telco in the world recognizes this day will come. It's only a question of timing. And by the way, most debates about the future are not about what's going to happen. That's usually obvious. Like the world's going mobile. It's obvious. It's simply a question of timing, and impact. So let's come back to this question here. I want you to give some advice to my telco and banking clients. By what year do you think that banks and telcos will find their way to fuse these kind of packages together and will be making it difficult to buy, in some places, difficult to buy a smartphone anymore because they're basically all free? When do you think this will start to happen? When do you think the first sort of telco banks, it could be someone like American Express and Google and the Bank of Ireland, whoever it is, but AIB, who do you think, when do you think that would happen? Put your hands up if you think that could happen in the next 10 years somewhere. 10 years. In the next 10 years, show me quite clearly. Put your hands up if you think it could happen somewhere in the next 5. My friends, it's already here. It's already here. I'm just telling you history. So the big question is, at what scale, at what impact will there be? And I suggest quite profound. Now I want to ask you another question. Is who do you think will own that customer? Who will own the relationship with you, Andrew? Will it be the bank? See, the bank normally sees nothing. They only see history. They only see where you were yesterday. They only see the cash that came out of the ATM this morning on the way here. They have no idea what you're doing now. They have no idea what you're thinking about. Now, whoever controls the browser knows quite a lot about you. Whoever controls your cloud, if you've allowed them permission to see, knows a lot about you. The handset provider might know a bit about you. But who do you think will own the customer? And I don't know the answer to that. It will depend on who the dominant element is in that particular partnership. And it may be that everybody owns the customer in that consortium. But it's a really, really important question. I'll tell you why. Because if you are right, and this is an inevitable process, and it's going to happen within your lifetime, in the next 50 years, and actually could be here already in some respects, if we're right, then it will profoundly change the whole nature of the way in which we talk to customers. So we're back to this business I said at the beginning, which is that marketing, just good old-fashioned shouting at people, is looking really last century. And that's the whole message we've had today. It's being smarter, it's using every piece of technology, every piece of insight we have to engineer a conversation that appears so natural, so unforced, that the person has no idea how much intelligence was behind the fact that that particular ad appeared at that very moment. But it just seemed almost intuitive, almost spooky, and then we need to be quite careful that we don't spook people out too much, and that's the great dilemma. So, and that was why the relationship and permissions will be so important. Because I know that if you were to reveal as much as you know about your customers already, it would spook some of them out. I remember my wife does it searching, and sometimes she'll say, whoa, that was spooky. Whoa, that was spooky. How did they know that? Why? Because she's changed device, she's changed country, and she was using someone else's computer, and suddenly up pops an advert for the very same holiday cottage that she was looking at 3 weeks ago at a similar time of day and in a similar frame of mind. But she hadn't yet typed into the search engine holidays. But somehow the system knew. So that's the genius that we have. And I think it's amazing the kind of engines and intelligence that's being built right here in this room. And if there's one message, it's this, that we can't do it alone. This is stuff we need to work in together. And it depends on excellence. It depends on reputation and building trust, which is why the partner program is so brilliant.